attention. He says, oh, man, thank goodness you're here. And I go, why? He says, nothing works. There's no phones. There's no alarms. There's no this, no that. I mean, no gyro. Oh, man, nothing works. I said, well, it will work. I'll guarantee you that. He says, welcome aboard. Okay. So, engineering officer, he come down and met me. I was in the IC room, and he says, now, you got 2 young men down here. You got 2 firemen. They're going to be working with you, and they're going to be IC men. He says they don't know a lot yet, but they'll work hard for you, I said, okay. I says, where are they? And he says, well, I don't know. I says, okay. Engineering officer leaves. And man, I'm thinking, where's my guys? Where's my 2 guys? Well, truth. I get up and I was going to go out of the IC room I was going to go to the electrician mates because we work kind of close together, electricians and IC men, because electricity. I was going to ask them if they knew where my guys were. And I started to run out of the door, and I looked behind the fire control board. And there's all kinds of meters, and it's amazing. The 2 guys are back there sleeping. I go, man, and there's enough room for 2 or 3 guys back there. They're back there sleeping. Here it is, 9:30 in the morning. I couldn't believe it, man. So I go over behind there and I go, hey, time to wake up. Hello, cuckoo. Hey, here we go, And one of them woke up and I said, now you wake your partner up, okay? And he woke him up. I said, go to the head, get cleaned up. Come on, we're going to have a meeting. I'm your new guy. So they gave me a funny look. One of them didn't know how to work, I swear. One of them really worked hard. He was good. They were both from Texas. 2 guys from Texas. And man, Texas, oh yeah, whoo. But the one guy, he was a little guy. And his first name, I remember his first name. His first name was Scotty. And he had this little mustache. Oh man, he didn't know how to work. I mean, I'd give him an order and tell him, okay, I want this done. And I don't know what he did, but it didn't get done. And finally, I sit down with him one evening. And I said, Scotty, I said, listen, man. I says, there's people on this earth. The regular people just kind of sit and they kind of go along with almost everything. They don't want to make any waves, I just, there's that type. And then there's a type that don't want to work at all. They don't want to do anything. They just want to watch people work and get handouts and they just, that's it. They're just, and these are the kind of people that they hand out a little card. I had a guy, Southern California one day, he handed out a little card and says, I'm deaf or I'm blind, and please help me, and I need some money for food and stuff. So I give him a couple bucks, and he goes around to everybody, and I think it was at Golden Gate Park or something. And, oh man, after that, he goes walking off talking to some guys, and yeah, it was another good day. And I thought, wait a minute, the guy said he couldn't talk. He's talking to all kinds of people. Oh man. So I told him, I says, then there's a kind that they make things happen. They say, to make things happen, you got to be a little aggressive, and you have to be kind of careful because you don't want to be too aggressive. But I said, what category do you think you're in? And I remember he had a way of moving his little mustache and stuff. He said, well, I don't know. He says, I guess I'm in that lazy category. That's exactly where you are. So I'm going to get you from lazy to hardworking. How long do you think that's going to take, Scotty? Well, I've never really worked hard. Oh, I can tell. But I says, you're young. So I can still get in there and twist some brain cells or whatever. I'll get you working hard. He's giving me a funny look now, like, you know. And I did. I got him working hard. We actually, the first month aboard ship, I checked everything. I wanted to know exactly what we needed to do to get that ship ready for to travel, for duty. And everything, all the wiring needed to be replacing. All the wiring, every bit of wiring, the phones, alarms, all the wiring had to be replaced. So I went to the engineering officer and I said, hey, look, I says, we got a big job. I says, if you want this, at least from the IC side of things, we have to replace all the cable aboard ship. The phone, everything, alarms, big job, big job. He says, how are you going to do that? I said, well, there's three of us, and one of us is going to work 8 hours, then the next guy work 8 hours, the next guy work 8 hours, and we're going to work 24 hours a day, the three of us. He says, okay. He says, that's going to cost a lot of money. And I said, that's why I'm talking to you. I said, I don't know what the cable costs, but we're going to need a lot of it. And I had it all figured out, how much cable we needed. Oh, man, oh gosh, 182,000. It was some unbelievable. And they got the cable for us. They got all the cable and got it all aboard ship, and then we started our work. I told Scotty, I said, Scotty, I'm going to work with you. I said, I'm going to do my 8 hours, and then I'm going to work with you for probably 3 or 4 days. And I'm going to teach you how to work hard. I'm going to teach you I'm going to teach you. I'm going to teach you the same way that my dad taught me, through example. And I felt sorry for him, man, because, oh, man, he starts sweating. He goes, oh, man, I'm sweating. I says, yeah, you're sweating. That's pretty good, Scotty. Yeah, we're going to sweat, man. Work hard and sweat. That's what it is. And after a few days with that, he says, I got it now. He says, I'm ready. I says, I'm going to be watching. He's, don't need to worry. I said, okay. And listen, Scotty, when you get out of the Navy or when you stay, whatever you're going to do, you got to work hard. Anything you do out there, you want to work hard. Work hard for your family, work hard for your wife, your kids. That's the way it is. Hard work, it's a blessing when you work hard. Earn the things that you get. It's beautiful. And so I thought I'd help him a little bit. And he did. He worked pretty hard. He had a pretty tough time at first, though. He'd start sweating. He'd go, oh, man, I kind of felt sorry for him. But he turned out to be a pretty good guy, though, and he worked hard. We replaced all the wire aboard ship. I mean, when you're pulling cable through a ship, it's unbelievable. And we used ropes and different things, and we'd tie 4 or 5 cables together. Some would be alarm cables, some would be phone cables, and they were a little different, Everything was shielded, though. Had steel shielding on it, steel shielding, and it was all. But we'd pull them through, and oh man, what a mess, what a mess. So by the time I got to where it was time to be discharged, that ship was in great shape. And we took it out. Well, okay, so we finished up in San Diego. I still had a couple months left. Then the captain got orders to go to San Francisco, Hunters Point. And that's where the dry docks were, where the ship, you come in and they drain all the water out. And man, the ship, it's sitting, the whole ship is there. The sea underneath it, and oh yeah, and they can repaint it and do all and sonar, they put a new sonar system on the ship is why they dry docked it. So we were there for like 2 weeks. And then we went on what they call a shakedown cruise. And that's when you go out 10, 12, 15 miles in the ocean and you test everything. Oh yeah, test it all. Steer everything. And anyway, we went out on that test. Now, I'd been in the Navy for 3 years and 10 months. I got sick. I swear, I got sick. And I got so sick. And, we're out there. I mean, I'd been aboard that ship now for, 8 months. And, man, I got sick. And when you get sick, you go to the aft part of the ship. Yeah. And you barf, stuff like that. I went to the aft, fantail. There's a bunch of buddies of mine who we're all barfing, man. They're sick. There was about 10 of us. Oh, it was pretty bad. But I never, that's the first time I ever got sick. And I felt, man, what am I getting sick now? The last few months of the Navy, I'm getting sick. I can't believe it. So it's kind of funny. But I want to go back to, tell you what, let me check the time here. I got a couple more minutes. This next week, I want to talk about some of the music that I was involved with in the Navy. I played a lot of music on the beach, on the beach. Different clubs and dance halls. They had a lot of dance halls back then. Big. Oh, man, they were big. And that was it's like the stadiums now, they fill the whole stadium with thousands of people and have these big rock concerts. Well, this was our concert, and they were dance halls, and probably the most they could get in there was maybe 2,500 people. But that was a big deal to us, all them people dancing, and oh man, it was a big deal. So I want to talk about that next week, and then when I was discharged and how it was, And there's probably a few more things I'll talk about in the Navy before we go into my life as a civilian. Anyway, hope you enjoy these. Have a good week and make a lot of money.